Elizabeth I, born on September 7, 1533, at Greenwich Palace, was a monarch who would indelibly shape the course of English history, leaving behind a legacy as one of its greatest rulers. Her parentage, the union of King Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, was immediately fraught with political and religious upheaval, as Henry's desire for a male heir led him to break with the Catholic Church and establish the Church of England. However, Elizabeth's early life was one of uncertainty. Declared illegitimate after her mother's execution in 1536, cast aside in favor of her half-siblings, Mary and Edward. Despite this precarious position, Elizabeth received a remarkably thorough education, mastering languages, rhetoric, theology, and classical literature, a testament to her sharp intellect and thirst for knowledge. She was tutored by prominent scholars like William Grindal and Roger Ascham, who instilled in her a deep understanding of classical thought and a sense of intellectual independence. The reign of her brother, Edward VI, a staunch Protestant, offered Elizabeth a degree of stability, though the religious landscape remained volatile, and she cautiously navigated the factions vying for power. Edward's premature death in 1553 plunged England into a crisis of succession, as his attempt to exclude Mary, a Catholic, from the throne failed, leading to the reign of Queen Mary I. Mary's reign, marked by religious persecution and the burning of Protestants at the stake, earning her the moniker Bloody Mary, posed a significant threat to Elizabeth, who was suspected of involvement in Protestant plots. Imprisoned in the Tower of London in 1554, accused of complicity in Wyatt's rebellion, Elizabeth demonstrated remarkable resilience and shrewdness, skillfully avoiding a definitive conviction despite strong evidence of her involvement. During her confinement, Elizabeth adopted a cautious and ambiguous stance, outwardly professing loyalty to Mary while secretly cultivating support from Protestants, hoping for a change in regime. Mary's marriage to Philip II of Spain, a staunch Catholic and powerful ruler, fueled anxieties among English Protestants who feared the imposition of Spanish rule and the suppression of their faith. Upon Mary's death in 1558, Elizabeth ascended to the throne, inheriting a kingdom deeply divided by religious strife, economic hardship, and political instability. At the age of 25, Elizabeth faced the daunting task of restoring order and establishing her authority, navigating the complex web of religious factions, ambitious courtiers, and foreign powers. Her first act was to re-establish the Church of England, taking a moderate path between Catholicism and radical Protestantism, aiming for religious unity and stability, a policy known as the Via Media. The Act of Supremacy, 1559, reaffirmed the monarch as the supreme governor of the Church of England, while the Act of Uniformity, 1559, established a common book of common prayer, aiming to standardize religious practice. Elizabeth's cautious approach to religion, avoiding extreme measures and prioritizing political stability, earned her the respect of many, though it also faced opposition from both radical Protestants, Puritans, and Catholics. The Puritan movement, advocating for a more radical reformation of the Church of England, challenged Elizabeth's authority, demanding simpler worship and greater religious autonomy. Catholic conspiracies, fueled by foreign powers like Spain and the papacy, sought to overthrow Elizabeth and restore Catholicism, posing a constant threat to her reign and the stability of England. The Ridolfi Plot, 1571, a conspiracy to assassinate Elizabeth and replace her with Mary, Queen of Scots, highlighted the dangers posed by Catholic ambition and foreign interference. The Babington Plot, 1586, another Catholic conspiracy to assassinate Elizabeth, led to the trial and execution of Mary, Queen of Scots, a pivotal moment in Elizabeth's reign. Mary, Queen of Scots, a Catholic claimant to the English throne, posed a constant threat to Elizabeth's authority, becoming a focal point for Catholic conspiracies and foreign intervention. Elizabeth's foreign policy was characterized by pragmatism and a desire to maintain England's independence and security, avoiding costly wars whenever possible. She skillfully navigated the complex political landscape of Europe, forging alliances with Protestant powers like France and the Netherlands, while cautiously avoiding direct conflict with Spain. The Anglo-Spanish War, 1585 to 1604, triggered by English support for Dutch rebels fighting against Spanish rule and English privateering against Spanish shipping, marked a major turning point in Elizabeth's reign. Sir Francis Drake, a renowned English privateer, played a key role in challenging Spanish dominance at sea, raiding Spanish settlements in the Americas and circumnavigating the globe. The Spanish Armada, 1588, a massive Spanish fleet sent to invade England and restore Catholicism, represented a major threat to Elizabeth's reign and the independence of England. The English victory over the Spanish Armada, achieved through skillful naval tactics, adverse weather conditions, and the courage of English sailors, solidified England's position as a major naval power and boosted Elizabeth's prestige. The defeat of the Armada was a triumph for Elizabeth and a testament to England's resilience, though it did not end the Anglo-Spanish War, which continued for another 16 years. Elizabeth's court was a center of cultural and intellectual activity, attracting some of the greatest writers, poets, and musicians of the Elizabethan era. William Shakespeare, arguably the greatest writer in the English language, flourished during Elizabeth's reign, producing some of his most famous plays, reflecting the complexities of Elizabethan society and the human condition. Christopher Marlowe, another prominent playwright, produced groundbreaking dramas that explored themes of ambition, power, and morality, paving the way for Shakespeare's success. Edmund Spenser, a renowned poet, wrote The Faerie Queen, an epic poem celebrating Elizabeth and the virtues of English Protestantism. Elizabeth herself was a skilled patron of the arts, supporting artists, musicians, and writers, fostering a vibrant cultural environment. Elizabeth's economic policies focused on promoting trade, encouraging exploration, and stabilizing the currency, laying the foundations for England's future economic prosperity. The East India Company, founded in 1600, played a key role in expanding English trade with the East, laying the foundations for the British Empire. Elizabeth never married, earning her the nickname the Virgin Queen, a conscious choice that allowed her to maintain her independence and use the prospect of marriage as a diplomatic tool. Numerous suitors, including Philip II of Spain, Archduke Charles of Austria, and Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester, sought her hand in marriage, but Elizabeth skillfully avoided committing to any one of them. Her reluctance to marry stemmed from her desire to maintain control of her throne and avoid being dominated by a foreign power or a powerful English nobleman. Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester, was her closest companion and rumored lover, but their relationship remained platonic, though it caused considerable speculation and scandal. Elizabeth's reign saw the rise of a new class of gentry and merchants, challenging the traditional power of the aristocracy and laying the foundations for a more democratic society. The Poor Laws, 1597, 1601, aimed to address the growing problem of poverty and vagrancy, providing some relief for the most vulnerable members of society. The Essex Rebellion, 1601, led by Robert Essex, Earl of Essex, a former favorite, challenged Elizabeth's authority and revealed the growing discontent among some members of the aristocracy. Elizabeth died on March 24th at 1603 at Richmond Palace, ending the Tudor dynasty and ushering in the reign of James I, a Stuart monarch. Her legacy is one of strength, intelligence, and political acumen, leaving behind a transformed England that was poised to become a major world power. She navigated religious turmoil, foreign threats, and internal challenges with remarkable skill, earning the respect of her people and leaving behind a golden age of English history. Elizabeth Barge remains one of the most iconic and celebrated monarchs in English history, her reign a testament to the power of intelligence, determination, and political skill.